What are some of the challenges that religious face today?
One thing is that they lack patience, and it is not their fault because it is a society that they come from where we have instant noodles, instant coffee.
What are some of the specific things you see the religious have to pay attention to?
The world is very alluring. Whether you are a young religious or a jubilarian or whatever, each one must have a spiritual director, and not only have one for namesake, but to have that relationship, that openness. When you're growing in prayer, I know of many religious who struggle with celibacy. They give in to masturbation. So my suggestion always to them is,
Many religious especially have this wrong notion of obedience. How do you look at obedience in the religious life?
but there are certain times dialogue may not be practical, but I have made my vow of obedience, no? I have pronounced my vows. So what stops me from obeying? Pride, actually. A senior priest or a senior sister may say something to you. Don't take offense. Turn to the Lord to see the hand of God in all events of your life. So what is this union with God actually? It is a union of wills where my will becomes His will and His will becomes my will. I have to attain that. I have to learn to let go of my will in small things. Many times young aspirants, they join and they have a misconception that all religious are infallible and holy. 25 years in religious life and this person is still like this. What will happen to me? Why should I continue? I have joined because I felt a call from God, not because this person is holy.
What if I told you that the vows we admire the most in religious life are the ones that demand deeper struggle? Welcome to the Inspiring Heart Show, where the world meets reality. First and foremost, I express my gratitude to you all for your constant support, love, and prayers throughout this journey in this podcast. Today's podcast is very dear to me as it is the second part of the previous episode on the life of Sister Christine. In today's podcast, we deal with some raw and honest conversation on celibacy, obedience, and prayer that are not just mere ideals out in the air, but are shaped by challenges, struggles, growth, and grace. And as many of you have asked for her contact details, I have shared Sister Christine's contact details in the description and in the comment section. If the first part of this podcast has inspired you, I am sure this part of this podcast will challenge you. So, are you ready? Stay tuned with us till the end. This is also inspiring to get to listen to you, the way God has guided you from a very small stage to a stage where you start leading people.
Yes.
You are doing spiritual direction for youth.
Yeah.
How long have you been in this ministry?
Almost 6 years.
Now, precisely if you talk about religious, what are some of the challenges that religious face today?
See, the young people today who join religious life, one thing is that they lack patience, and it is not their fault because it is a society that they come from where we have instant noodles, instant coffee,
Fast food.
Everything is now instant gratification of the senses is very glorified and promoted in the society. To follow Jesus, we have to let go of all this. One is the instant gratification of the senses. That is a big challenge, to wait on the Lord. Because He takes His time to answer. Sometimes He doesn't answer also. We have to keep waiting. So if you see in my journey, I waited for 17 years to join Carmel. At the age of 17, I had a desire. I joined at the age of 33. So almost 17 years. So we have to wait. Waiting is a very important part of following Jesus. Another thing I see that there are commitment issues. That's why we have a lot of live-in relationships nowadays. And there's fear of commitment in the youth. One is also FOMO, the fear of missing out. They want to be a part of everything.
Which is very much part of the youngsters too in today's generation.
Yeah. And our religious who come from this society.
True, very true.
Also what I notice is the influence and the addiction to social media. Nothing is bad. It's how I use it.
Makes the difference.
So I see these few areas, which can be challenging for a youth, for a young religious.
When you joined it must have been a different times. Now, every 5 years we see change in the society.
Yes.
Now, given that change and your constant involvement in the ministry, what are some of the specific things you see that they have to work on? The religious have to pay attention to safeguard themselves.
Yeah. The world is very alluring. I would say that each religious, whether you are a young religious or old, a jubilarian or whatever, each one must have a spiritual director. Spiritual direction and accompaniment is so important, so necessary. That is one area that they must be very careful. They should have at all times a spiritual director. And not only have one for namesake, but to have that relationship, that openness and even the spiritual director should create that space, a safe space for the person, the formee, to come and confide. And that is also required. Another thing I see is ministry takes over, because actually what happens is why it becomes a priority is because there's a lot of gratification in the work. Okay, when you do some work, you feel satisfied. There's a lot of gratification. When you're growing in prayer, God is going to withdraw consolation at some time, because He wants you to grow in prayer, to grow in faith. So when this happens at prayer, and I get a lot of gratification in my ministry, it becomes very easy for me to say, okay, I will concentrate more on the work that I'm doing. But our first call is to be with Jesus, then to go out and proclaim the good news. But first call is to be with Him. So very subtly this happens in religious life, that the time of prayer is taken for granted.
It's diluted, then concentration goes into ministry.
And even if you're sitting there, you're thinking of the work that you have to do.
In the Jesuit term also we call it to be contemplatives in action.
In action.
Earlier they call it a contemplation and action. So now they say contemplatives in action, which is very important. Denying one and growing in another will not lead you anywhere.
And then actually after a few years, how much can you work? You're going to be dissatisfied, because nobody actually can satisfy you. St. Augustine says, our hearts are made for you, Lord, and they'll never find rest until they rest in you. So it is true that we'll not find rest in our work, in our ministry, in our friendship, in any relationship, in our projects. Only in God will we find fulfillment.
Now, when we talk about gratification that you talk about, one of the challenges that the religious face today is to understand the vows that they take. Now, to be specific, to understand celibacy. In the outside world also,
Yes.
and inside also, the word celibacy, inside we call it a chastity, and outside also we need celibate people. To be chaste also means, you will be able to explain better, to be also chaste means that you have a commitment towards one, to be committed to one. In religious life you are committed to the one whom you have followed, Christ.
Yeah.
So how do we understand that celibacy in religious life?
So celibacy is a celibate is a one who abstains from marriage and sexual relationships. Having said that, it is the person who's made the choice, free choice. Nobody, when I choose to be a celibate, nobody has put me on a gunpoint to be a celibate. I have chosen that. It's my free will. And because it's my free will, my free choice, I must be careful that I don't do anything to stimulate myself sexually. We all are weak human beings, no? So there is a struggle. And struggle there should be. Because it's only through these struggles that we grow. Just imagine if we had no struggles in life, it would have been so boring. So it's through these struggles that we grow. I know of many religious who struggle with celibacy. They give in to masturbation. So my suggestion always to them is, one is, don't give up your time of prayer. And even if you fail, it's okay to fail. But it's not okay to not rise again. It's okay to fail. See, Jesus understands. As long as I am making those efforts to follow Him closely, and with all my heart, my mind, and my body, He understands that. Also, I suggest that there should be some, a person should practice some sort of asceticism. Mostly fasting and abstinence from some food that you like. The reason I say this is, see, this is the wisdom of the church fathers. Our first temptation was apple.
Yeah, a fruit, hidden fruit, forbidden fruit.
Forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Jesus, after his 40 days of fasting, when he was led to the desert,
The first one was bread.
Temptation was turn the stones into bread. So there is something here, with food, that gratification. So a little, you don't have to do big things. Don't stop eating completely. It's about abstaining little. I have one piece of chocolate and I will not eat. Not because I'm going to put on weight or something, but because I want something greater. So I'll give up this. And what is that greater, what I want? I want Christ. So I don't want chocolate. I want to feel His presence. I am going to give this up. This one thing helps in disciplining my self-will. So when I am faced with another temptation, maybe of which is to do with sexuality or any other temptation, but yeah, we are talking about celibacy, so I am strengthened because of these little acts that I have done.
Of abstinence.
Of abstinence. So that is also very important.
So it is true that when people say you try to abstain, if you have control over your tongue, You have control over your sexual life.
Yes.
Is it really true?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It plays a very important part, very important role. Having said that, you see, those who are also practicing abstinence and all, they also have their struggles. Huh? So it's not that anyone is infallible. They may fail, but it's okay. Rise, take courage, rise again. Because God will redeem that area at some time or the other.
To accept failure is not when you fall, it is when you fail to rise.
Yes.
I remember the wisdom quote.
Yes, true. Also, see, even St. Paul speaks about celibacy, the relevance. If I want to speak about the relevance of celibacy today, in today's day and age, it can be a counterculture witness. When today the whole world is running after pleasure.
Commodities, consumerism, capitalism.
And here a radical way of saying that God alone suffices. This Centuries of Avila, this is her bookmark. God alone suffices. And it is true, God alone suffices. So celibacy today can be relevant. It is relevant for those who wonder. But it is relevant. It is also, besides that, my whole focus is on God then, no? So I have more time. I don't have other responsibilities. So I'm more focused on God.
Now celibacy, when we talk about this way, people also have difficulty to obey. No, to some extent, obedience becomes difficulty because people are told that you find God in your superiors. Now in Jesuits these days, we talk about that there is a dialogue. There is always a dialogue which is part of a spiritual conversation.
Yes.
Many religions especially have this wrong notion of obedience. How do you look at obedience in the religious life?
See, obedience, yes, Vatican II speaks about obedience as being a dialogue. And I agree to that. But there are certain times that a dialogue may not be practical. A dialogue may not happen. But I have made my vow of obedience, no? I have pronounced my vows. So what stops me from obeying? Pride, actually. There is fruit in obedience. And I say that with experience. I remember in Carmel, I was put in charge of the host office. And when I was put in charge of the host office, I had some difficulties with sisters coming and helping, and the rise, there was an increase in the demand for host suddenly. So, and I was struggling to, prepare it and all that. And I went and I told my prioress, I said, Mother, sisters are not coming, they have other things to do, but even this is important, and And Mother told me, Sister Christine, you have joined Carmel to work not as a manager, but as a contemplative. I'm saying, what you're telling me about being contemplative and all? Tell the sisters, no, to come on time when they are supposed to come to the host office and give their service. Tell them to do that. And you are telling me I have to be contemplative and all. I was angry with your mother. And then I was praying and I'm saying, what is it that Mother is trying to teach me? What is it that Jesus wants to teach me through this? After 2-3 days, I said, okay. So all that anger settled a little after 2-3 days. Then I realized that all this time I am working for Jesus. So then I told him, I said, now let me work with you. I will work with you. And miraculously I realized that somehow I was able to manage, the demand for host. So what we were doing as 1 lakh, from the time I took over the host office, 1 lakh host a month. The demand, it went to 1,70,000, 1,80,000. So almost double. And I am a banker, no? So I am calculating this much, 80% and this is, and so all that is coming.
Gujaratis are good at it, right?
Yes, a Gujarati and a banker. So you can imagine what. But then I realized, so that the fruit of obedience. I obeyed mother and I didn't take offense in what she told me. Of course, I told her what I wanted to, but I didn't take offense. So even while in formation, don't take offense. I would suggest the young religious, don't take offense when you're corrected. Don't take offense when maybe when you go for regency or whatever, you are in different communities and some senior priest, not only one in charge of formation or superior, but a senior priest or a senior sister may say something to you. Don't take offense. Turn to the Lord to see the hand of God in all events of your life.
And when those who are in authority, what I believe, they can see a bigger picture.
Yes.
They are in a position where they have various parameters, but your parameters are comparatively limited.
Yes.
So a genuine discernment and a genuine obedience will be to look at from that point of view. At times there are flaws on the other end also. That also we agree. But on a major part, it is this way. They see a bigger picture. And so as you said, we turn to the Lord. When you are saying like this, I was reminded of a story. It is said that one of the Jesuit, he was very well to do. So he wanted to board Titanic. Have you heard that story?
No.
Okay. He wanted to board Titanic. I don't exactly remember in which place. So he happened to get a ticket and he boarded. He was traveling. That is when the provincial came to know that he is in the ship. Immediately provincial wrote a letter to him. So which he received in the next station. I think at that time it was telegram, I suppose.
Yes.
So he wrote and he received. So which read, immediately get down of the ship. He got down. To his surprise, he realized that Titanic wrecked and it sunk. That is when he realizes the beauty of obedience. It's a true incident that took place. Which people say, how providential can an obedience become? Provided you give into it. It is not you who is obeying to another human. You are obeying to God's will. That I think that becomes meaningful.
Yes.
It becomes very fruitful.
Also, when we I spoke about attaining union with God, no? So what is this union with God actually? It is a union of wills, where my will becomes His will and His will becomes my will.
That becomes more meaningful when you play Our Father.
Yeah. And if I have to attain that, I have to learn to let go of my will in small things, which can be very difficult, but it's not impossible. Because if it was impossible, God wouldn't have allowed this, not asked us of this. But because it is possible, I think I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So this also I can do. I can give up my will.
Because you are not the first one in this run and you are not the last one also.
Correct.
There are so many people who have gone ahead of you and so many good people will be following you.
Yes.
That I think we need to remember at times.
And no matter how or what a superior is, if we learn to see God's hand, we will realize that God will use them for His greater glory in our life. If we obey, if let us be less judgmental, more open. And today for me is need to have a learner's attitude. All those information need to have a learner's attitude. If I or if anyone joins the religious life thinking, I know too much, I know better, I know it all, it will not help. To train yourself to have a learner's attitude, that is how you will meet your potential. You will meet the goal why you joined a society.
Now, sister, you have been in this, spiritual direction for a long period of time, right? So this is something that people don't raise question always. When we look at formation in India or in the world, how do you think on the other end, that is from the end of formators, what changes do you think that they need to make for a better formation?
Yeah. So I think one is, first, they themselves must be authentic, or even try to be authentic religious. One very important, to be authentic religious. And I am very glad that I have come across many who are authentic religious. Formators also need to be skilled to understand and identify the problem or the issue that a formee is going through. Formators need to create that safe space for the formee to come and confide anything and everything, to be able to come and share whatever. And I also feel that now counseling and therapy should become a part, a normal, regular part of formation.
Because people come from various backgrounds, various life experiences.
Yes.
And I think everybody has some or the other wounds
that they carry. And we come from a society where all of us are wounded. Nobody is spared. All of us are wounded. So for them to attain their potential and that fullness, the fullness of life that Jesus promised, that He came to give us, I think counseling and therapy should become a regular part of formation.
This growth that has to take place, both from the part of formators as well as from the part of formees. What do you think are the factors that can derail them? What do you think are the factors that can derail them from religious life?
Derail formees.
Formees.
Yeah. One is when formees seek, as we were speaking, of immediate gratification. That can be one factor which can, really derail them. Second is how strong is their prayer life? How committed are they to their prayer life? Because if they are not committed to prayer life, nothing can help them. No counselor, no therapist, the best of spiritual director, a wonderful superior formator, nothing can help. Prayer life very important. So that has to be taken into consideration. Many a times young aspirants, they join and they have a misconception that all religious are infallible and holy. So we are sinners who belong to the Holy Catholic Church. The Holy Catholic Church is made up of sinners. Nobody is infallible.
All have their own flaws.
All have their own faults. So when you see, don't get discouraged. Don't be judgmental. Array, 25 years in religious life and this person is still like this. What will happen to me? Why should I continue? I have joined. Why? Because I felt a call from God. Not because this person is holy.
Yeah.
So when this person is not behaving well, why should I live then? Misunderstandings, suffering, challenges will be there in religious life, in any form of life, any path of life. It will be there. and it should be there. Was it not necessary for the Son of Man to be crucified and to be raised on the last, to be raised in? So it is necessary for us to go through this. Any kind of misunderstanding, and it's okay. Nothing lasts forever. Only God.
Sister, what practices or approaches have you seen very transformative in your life, in your spiritual life?
Yeah. So I follow the Carmelite tradition. So my prayer has been that of meditation and contemplation. So I suggest one is to be, I have said many times, to be committed to your time of prayer. Secondly, when I always suggest, so whether it is a formie or a jubilarian, whoever comes to me for guidance, one thing I suggest is to take, our church liturgy is very rich. So I always suggest to take the daily mass readings for your meditation. At the same time, besides this, strive to grow in practicing virtues. And asceticism is also very important.
Sister, considering religious life, what message will you give to those aspirants who are discerning their vocation, whether to join or not? What would you suggest them?
I would say that our desire for God is only a faint shadow of His desire for us. So if you feel called to the religious life, do not be afraid to commit, to face challenges, and do not be afraid to even give up some attachments. But take courage and enter, because the one who calls you is faithful. Even when you are not, He remains faithful. I would say in the words of Saint Teresa of Avila, that our God is so close to us that He can hear our softest whispers. So I would only say that take courage and enter.
That is something very beautiful, sister. And I really will appreciate and cherish the moment that we had together. The kind
here.
of open interaction. A lot of inspirations to draw from you, from your life experiences. A lot of aspirations to take forward in religious life. And along with me, all those who are watching today also will be very happy and inspired to lead a life that is meaningful, truthful, and it's very fruitful.
Yes.
And with these aspirations and hope, I thank you, sister.
Thank you, brother, for inviting me to this
Thank
podcast.
you so much.
It has been a pleasure interacting with you, and all for the greater glory of God. So my life is for the greater glory of God, to share what He has done in
And
my
praise
life.
be to Lord.
Praise
for
be
all
to
that.
God. Yes.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.